Sunshine. 57 starters, 2 in the pit lane, and a busy track as Passin Lathoris led the way down towards turn 1 with Bentley, with McLaren, with Ferraris all stacked up behind him. On the opening lap, Lathoris started to lose a little bit of pace as the more experienced pro drivers mobbed him round the outside at senior. Rob Bell getting up into 3rd place, but there was drama right the way through the first hour of the race, with battles raging on through the field, including a good Bavarian battle. We had the Mercedes and the BMWs running together. The class winning, as it turned out. Pro-Am Ferrari tagged into an early spin from which the car was able to recover, and Kessel Racing taking class honours. Not so good for Attempto Racing, as the Porsche in its 3rd race had an engine failure and a very spectacular fire. Cue full course yellow number 1 while the blaze was extinguished. The enterprising teams pitted under the full course yellow. It meant Bentleys were 1st and 2nd, with Guy Smith leading the way from a hard-charging Maxime Soulet, who'd been installed into the number 8 car. He was a little bit quicker, so the cars were reversed. Then they made another pit stop under the next full course yellow, caused by Ian Loggy going off the road. There was a spin as Stefano Costatini lost the Ombra Racing Lamborghini, and dramas for number 7 Bentley. Vincent Abril had been installed behind the wheel. He had this ABS drama at the end of the pit straight and had to do a slow in-lap. Concern for the M Sport team led by Malcolm Wilson. Comme Ledegar had to take this shortcut to avoid an errant Ferrari, but he got back on track and then started to break away from the opposition. But up front, it was all about Bentley as the aggressive number 2 Audi tapped the then Pro-Am leading Ferrari into a drama down at turn 5. That was the Scuderia Praha Ferrari that did battle on but lost further ground before the end of the race. A punctured tyre aboard 38, that meant that Raffaele Giannone had to limp round to the pit lane. Out on track, spinning BMWs getting in the way just ever so slightly of what was then the 4th placed McLaren. Comme Ledegar doing the good middle stint. The sun began to set, making it spectacular for the photographers, but hard work for the drivers as they had to adjust to the differing conditions as the lights started to go. Sparks flew as cars ran over the curb coming out of Virage Dupont. Up over the timing line went the leaders, and this gave a drive-through penalty for the number 19 Lamborghini as a rather aggressive move was pulled on the inside by Michele Beretta. New tyres aboard the 50 Ferrari. Alessandro Pierguidi, the man behind the wheel, as he got set for a real charge to try to catch the race-leading number 8 Bentley. 19, which had been running in that leading group, had to serve the drive-through, but there was another penalty coming for one of the leading cars, and it was the number 8 Bentley. Before that, though, 44 Johnny Adam limped his way into the pit lane with suspension dramas. The 76 Porsche battled on, the French team on home soil. But Maxime Soulet, number 8 Bentley, had been deemed not to have slowed down quick enough at a full course yellow. For that, the car was investigated and it was given a drive-through penalty. It maintained the lead, but only just, the gap right down. Maxi Bouc never even got that far because the Mercedes had a gearbox issue and it stopped out by the side of the circuit. Alessandro Pierguidi then was pushing on. He was bringing down the gap to the leading Bentley, and the drive-through penalty for number 8 really threw the car an even bigger lifeline. He was right up with him and continued to push on, having first of all got past Shane van Gisbergen, but this was a fierce fight between the two as they muscle their way out of the last corner. This was the battle for 2nd place. Eventually, Pierguidi went through and was able to hang on to the place despite the best efforts of the Kiwi, who was doing everything he possibly could to find a way back through. In the end, the McLaren would leapfrog the Ferrari once again, but that was done on pit stops. Steve Earle was forced in with a black and orange meatball flag with bits trailing off the back of the car. So as 8 Bentley served its drive-through, much closer became the 50 Ferrari. The battle was on, and then it all changed around at the last pit stop. The Ferrari stayed out, the Bentley came in under a full course yellow and had this spectacular pit fire. At the other end of the pit lane, almost unnoticed, this car, the McLaren, came in to serve its final stop, and in doing so got the lead away from the AF Corsa Ferrari. And then the gap over 20-odd seconds had to be reduced, and Alessandro Pierguidi did his best, but his best wasn't quite good enough. The gap came down little by little by little, but never enough. And so it meant that in the last few laps of the race, Shane van Gisbergen had an advantage, a modest advantage, but one nonetheless that he was able to hang on to right the way to the checkered flag. Under the fireworks here in the night sky at Le Castellet, race win for the Garage 59 McLaren. A win at Paul Ricard for Shane van Gisbergen, Comme Ledegar and Rob Bell. From David Addison, John Watson and Dakota Jane in the pit lane, thanks for your company. Here, we'll see you at the end of July for the Blue Ribbon event, the Spa 24 Hours. That's going to be a cracker. Bye for now.